and a partner said, people can't afford to pursue justice. They can't afford to pursue their principles. And I was like, that's pretty sad because our entire justice system was set up to be able to even the scales, no matter for any man, whether it's the king or whether it's the peasant. And I go, if that's someone who's been in this industry 25 years and that's how they view it, I go, something's got to change. And then when I saw the AI coming in and particularly heard how you talked about it, I was like, oh, this is that great leveler to actually bring back the balance of scales, and the merits of the case will be what's most important, not the cost of pursuing it.
Yes, yes, it's you're quite right. It's got to a stage where at least in the commercial litigation context, it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
That's the nature of our justice system. It's quite expensive to run a claim nowadays. It always has been, but not to the extent it was now. And now you'll find, like I said, you're finding that if you have $100,000 dispute and the quantum is $100,000, sometimes that's not enough, to run
Yep.
a claim. That's not enough. It's just, at least at the traditional firm, often you will say, okay, you'll get to a mediation. If you try and settle it, great. But if you can't settle it, there's a real risk that you might incur just as much. There's plenty of examples in recent memory or in recent history where the quantum of the cost of the case have exceeded the quantum by a substantial amount. I think one only has to look at the recent case about that reporter from the ABC that sued for,
Mm.
and she was successful. So unfair dismissal, I think, from memory. And she was successful. And I'd imagine the costs of running that claim were quite significant. Now, there's some solace in the fact that she might get some of it back. But
Mm.
again, there's a real risk. She took a real risk by running it all the way to trial. Not a lot of businesses can do that because they're a business, they're a startup,
Mm.
or even small medium enterprises. They'd much rather settle and look to continue with the business and survive. But I'm hoping Sperling Legal changes that narrative and say, look, there's a bit more negotiating power. Like I said,
Yep.
costs are not center stage, but they're still there. They're still at the forefront. You still need to consider it, but it's not going to take front and center.
Yeah. No, it's a wonderful goal.